All right, so the NK180 Pro electric trolling motor. Handful of steps to this, so reference this video as many times as you need to. One of the first things I do, I get the motor and put it on the bracket. The bracket stays, I just leave the bracket on the Hobie itself. I have this set to the trim that I believe works best for the Hobie Outback, and I had read this online that most people recommended this second slot closest to the Hobie. Your power cable to your battery, and then each side of the NK180 Pro has knobs with little locking clips. So to do that, you just want to take out one side. Forgive me, I'm going to try to do this one-handed. So you'll take this out. I always either just put this little thing between my teeth, or I rest it somewhere where it's not going to get splashed into the water and disappear forever. And then you'll spin this. I needed two hands though for this part, because the other side will spin freely too. All right, so this comes off, and then slide this out like such. And then the easiest way to line up these holes is I just try to match this as close to the outline as the best I can, and then you slide it in. I'm gonna have to put the camera down for a second so I can do this. So sorry I couldn't do that with just one hand. So it slides this in, comes out on this side. You're gonna do immediately, I would screw this back on so you don't walk away and forget about it. Get your pin clip. All right, and then you want to go ahead and connect your steering. So you've got carabiners on both sides. This is integrated to the steering handle that's up there. So you'll clip these on. So the carabiners are clipped together. You have a couple of colored lines. They're going to connect to different parts of this. When I'm in travel mode, everything runs through here just for cord management, these two, and then I keep this bungee so you don't have cords just flopping everywhere. I just wrap up here a couple times around, because otherwise these cords have a lot of slack and will want to spin around. And then you can just put them in here. That will give you more than enough slack. And then you want to have your green one connects up top here. I don't know if one way to remember it is it's green here and it's green here. This will control when you're coming in and out of the water, or let's say you're out in the kelp beds and you see a big thing of kelp coming and you don't want your prop to get eaten up by the kelp. You can pull that, let's see, blue or the green string with the blue handle, and it'll pull it up like that so that the motor comes out of the water ever so slightly. For reverse, if you put it in reverse right now without clipping this, it would just go out of the water. I've done it. So you want to clip this right here into this. And then if you know you need to go in reverse for whatever reason, you're going to pull the gray cord, this one, and it'll, I don't know if you can see, it locks down on it so the motor cannot pop up out of the water. As far as the lines that you got, you know, you have your two here. When you're coming to shore, it'll be tricky because this is on the trailer, and you want your motor to stay out of the water. I have this little eye hole right there, and I cut off like a 1/4 inch of it, the end of it, so you can slide this into there and it'll hold the motor upright. I don't know, I'll try to reach it. I don't know if I can or not. There we go. Okay, it's not going to happen, but you're just going to slide the handle into that right there, and it'll hold the engine up. Next thing is the battery. I always top it off before I go out. If you ever need to disconnect these, I wrote it's a 1/2 inch. It's written on here to remove these caps if you ever needed to. This guy I keep on just to keep the water from splashing the terminals. And then this, they give you plenty of slack, but I'll show you. And you can just pick this guy up. And then I usually, if I have the, what do you call it, the live well, I'll put it here. If I have the black pack sits actually farther back, and I put the battery here. Either way, there's no wrong way to do it. Find the way that works for you. I like this setup because I can use these bungees to sit on top of this. So like that. And if you wanted to, because this is heavy, if you flipped, heaven forbid, you could still run something over this to these like bungee cords just to give you some extra security. And then I usually will tuck the excess slack of this in here. And then this connects to here. Before I connect it though, one thing I'd recommend, you have your throttle over here, and it also is run through some wires here for some cable management. You want to connect this part right here. Hold on, let me get the camera better. To that part right there. And then you just tighten down on that, twisting both of them against each other. And I have found sometimes that if I hook up the battery before I hook up the throttle, sometimes I get an error message on the throttle. And it's been resolved somewhat, from what I can tell, by simply just plugging this in beforehand. It doesn't happen every time, but sometimes it does. and then you're ready to plug in your battery. So that's plugged in. Your steering's all connected. Your throttle's on. So you're going to come to this screen and you're going to see the voltage of the battery. So depending on how much you turn the battery on, so sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So you'll see the voltage, but you'll see how there's these dashes here. That means it's off currently. So if I press this button, it'll turn it on, but it won't work because you need your safety switch. So clip this on right there and then hit the power button. There's a middle ground with the throttle. I've done it where I've hit it when I've been fishing, and I'll sit down and then turn this back on. It'll get you going. So just find that middle setting before. So watts, percentage, I'll just turn it up a little bit since it's out of the water. So that's like 13. And as you can see, running smoothly. And then just crank it down. I'll give you the manual too. I've got extra parts that it came with, an extra kill switch, an Allen wrench, some extra caps. I'll send those with you. Cat doesn't know what's going on. So yeah, that is the motor. You can rearrange all this if you want. It's totally up to you. It's your kayak now. Remember, this is the steering specifically for just the motor. If you're not running the motor and you want to steer the kayak itself with the rudder that's stock to you remember you want to drop this. And I would drop this once you get in the water, regardless if you're going to use the handles or not, because it'll just give you more tacking straight. But you'll see as I move these, it moves the rudder back and forth. And then, yeah, to turn it off, it's the opposite of what we did. Disconnect the power, disconnect here. You want to, stow your cables, unlock this, take the motor off. I wouldn't travel with the motor on. I think it's a lot of stress on the back end. Yeah, so that's the NK180 Pro.